set. Thanks, Bob. Good evening and welcome to the March 4th, 2014 meeting of the Town of Wareham Board of Selectmen and Sewer Commissioners. May we have the roll call, please?
Present is Selectman Holmes, Selectman Whiteside, Selectman Slavin, Selectman Titlebaum, Town Administrator Derek Sullivan, Town Council Richard Bowen.
Okay, next item, please.
Announcements, Mrs. Whiteside.
No, thank you.
Mr. Holmes.
Basically just one, and it all ties together. And the answer is, no, I can't. I just got barraged this week. Local businesses asking me if I could bring warmer weather. And I just can't do it. I've tried. Pray, hope, wish. I can't do it. We were at, on Route 6 there, Bailey's the other night. Dolores and I went for dinner. We hadn't been there in a while. And, you know, they, these forecasts, right? Sunday, Monday was supposed to kill the town. Everybody's going to be, right? Nobody goes out to eat. They all go to Stop and Shop or Shaw's, buy milk, bread, and stuff, and then nothing happens, and they stay home to eat the bread and milk and stuff they bought in the store.
Ice cream.
So, you know, it's like, I can't. I'm trying to help you with the weather, but I see that Cool Cone is open. Last night, drove by there. They have a thing. I don't think I've ever seen that with a canopy to keep you warm when you're ordering your food.
So the wind doesn't blow you away.
At an outside, at a Cool Cone.
Yeah, they're open.
You know, so whatever we can do, Mr. Sullivan, maybe we should write a policy to have you affect the weather for us and base your raise on that. Maybe that would be a good thing. But, you know, it's like I said last week, do the best you can. The business owners know that you all appreciate them. Do it safely, though, because I really don't want to ever see anybody get hurt in a car accident trying to go to frequent a business, you know. But do your best. They're doing their best to try to stay open for you. And I've been all over town, so every business owner was smiling except for the weather. So if there's anything you can do to help us with that, I think that'd be pretty good. And the people I'm worried about tonight, they're probably not watching the Board of Selectmen meeting, but there are many Mardi Gras howlers out tonight. So if you are watching before you head out, please drive careful later. We don't want to see anybody get injured or killed tonight because of overabundance of beverages. So thank you.
Bill?
Hey, thanks.
It's all yours. I found it.
Take that out of his pocket?
I stole it.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
We had the privilege of dropping off last Friday a proclamation for Tariq Johnson and his family for, you've probably seen it on the billboard outside of the town, for Tariq Johnson Day, March 18th. The young man has been going through a lot of physical stuff for quite a while, and we just kind of brought over there for his birthday to honor and stuff. And if he's out there listening, if you would like to take the time, have your parents bring you to town hall someday, let us know when you're coming, and we'll all go outside and I'll take a picture together with you in front of that billboard. Thank you very much for the struggle you're going through and the way you're handling it. Another piece, we've had applications in for Tremont Nail for a site assessment for quite a while. I did it while I was on the planning board. We've been going at this probably 5 or 6 years to try and get on somebody's list to have a Brownsfield assessment done. And I got notification a couple days ago through SERPED that we work with as well, that it looks as if finally the note says here, I'm expecting that the town will be rewarded $100,000 for a site assessment. I'll keep you informed. That's Don Sullivan from SERPED. So it looks like that's finally starting to happen. We also have, those who don't know, we have a town-ordered auction. We have 11 properties for sale. The information is at the Selectmen's office. Give them a call or come by, they'll give you the information. There were some questions about our offering a TIF back some time ago on Marizzacci Company. It's interesting that when they originally applied to us, they had 140 employees. Their filing that's required by the state. As of today, they have 184 employees now, so they've increased their employees by 44. So it's definitely been worthwhile for the town. Also, they've invested in the project $10,606,000. Last thing I have really is not an announcement. It's just that I've had several of our senior citizens come in, stop me, ask me a question. They're concerned about the Council on Aging and the status. We haven't really explained to anybody exactly what's going to happen, because obviously we don't have a full plan in place yet either. I'm hoping that this board, somewhere down the line, in a short time frame, not a long time, will spend some time, go over and speak to some of the seniors, give them some idea. The worst thing you can do to anybody is to let them sit there not knowing what's happening. They paid for their parents' benefits, etc., and obviously we're not paying for our parents' benefits now, so I'd like to see something happen. Thank you.
Yeah, I just have one thing. Each week, Selectman Holmes likes to tell us about the various restaurants he attends and the meals he's had and so on and so forth. Tonight I'm going to reference the other end of the digestive tract. For anybody in town who hasn't spoken to Selectman Slavin, who took great joy in recounting the story, on Thursday I had the privilege of having a colonoscopy at the Toby Hospital. All went well. I can assure you that the Toby Hospital does a great job at this. What I'd like to say is that this is something everybody should have. Over the age of 50, you need to get it done every 10 years. They actually did find something in me. They took it out, depending on whether if it's the precancerous type of thing, I got to go back in 5 years. If it's the other kind, the normal kind of polyp, I go back in 10 years. Colorectal cancer is the third leading cancer killer in the country. It's also one of the absolutely most avoidable cancers. So I can tell you the prep isn't a lot of fun, but it's worth giving up the sleep for one night and sitting on the pot for most of it in exchange for, hopefully living to a ripe old age once they find something, catch it, and deal with it. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Just one thing, Derek. I forgot also, we have a article which, if you can see, it's New England boating. There's a whole large section. It was handed out at the New England Boat Show. That's this past week, last 10 days actually, and it has a large section on onset in the Wareham area and boating and stuff. Also the 2014 celebration as well as the canal. So it makes a nice table piece. We'll have some of those up at Town Hall if you want to look at it.
Yeah, on the tax possession property sale, you can also go to the town's website. If you see right below the pictures that change from the boats and such, you'll see Wareham 275th anniversary. Right under there is a link, tax possession auction, Thursday, March 20th, 2014. So you can also view the properties there as well. So,
Thank you.
even though we don't mind them coming in, they can look at it online.
Yes.
Next item, please.
Citizens participation, anybody?
Come on up. Good evening.
Good evening, Claire Smith, Town Moderator. I will tell you, I did try to put that sunshine in my suitcase in the 86 degrees and humidity, but as I got to the airport, it kept screaming and screaming, let me out, let me out. I don't want to go back to where you're going, so it didn't make it back with me, but
Nice
I
try.
did try. I tried. I really did try to bring it back with me. I did everything in my power. I'm here tonight to thank you on behalf of the Mass Moderators Association. We held a Southeast Region Mass Moderators meeting here last Saturday. We had 17 towns represented, which was very pleased with the attendance. We had a great speaker from the State Ethics Commission, and normally we try to have our speakers talk for about 45 minutes. I have found over the last 3 years that our speakers have been so informative and so interesting that we go the full 2 hours just listening to our speaker. So it was a great meeting, and I just wanted to relay to you. They asked me to say thank you for allowing them to come to Wareham and be educated a little more on what our role as moderators are. So thank you for having them, and allowing them to come here to Wareham. It makes it so much easier than having to go way out to the western part of the state. But I did want to share with you that of great interest, and I was in here last fall to talk about electronic voting, and this is something that we as a town have talked about for many, many years. And it really is beginning to take a huge leap, and there are a lot of towns that are very interested in it. As a matter of fact, there are 20 towns that will be meeting in the next few months that have put in for a trial, a free trial, where the company is coming in to set everything up and do their town meeting at no cost. Unfortunately, because the response has been so great, they are now going to put the kibosh on coming in and doing free meetings. So unfortunately, we didn't jump quick enough on that. But if you are interested, there are several towns that are going to be having their meetings coming up. There is one Saturday, I believe it's Duxbury. No, it's Eastham. No, I'm wrong. May 8th is, where's Fred Wheeler? Down the Cape, Saturday on the 8th. And actually, I have a lot of information as to cost and everything. Fred shared a lot of that, so I'll be happy to make copies and share that with you as to if you had 1,000 voters and what they would provide and the cost of that. So we've got some more information. Eastham is doing their town meeting on May 5th. So if you'd like to go down and attend and see how it works. And Brookline is May 27th and 29th, and I'll try to find out some more dates and give you some options that if you want to go to these town meetings and see how it all works out. It's pretty interesting. And then, you know, the town could decide whether they want to go forward with a study committee. Usually it takes about a year before the study would come back with some recommendations. And there are several companies that are providing this kind of technology. So there are several options to go with and several costs depending upon what you want to do. So I just wanted to come back and share that with you because we ended up staying after our regular meeting to talk a lot about this because there is so much interest.
Well, thank you for the update. It's appreciated. Anyone else for citizens' participation? Okay, seeing no one. Next item, please.
All right. I have no bills, no documents, minutes. Take a motion to approve the minutes of February 4th.
Second.
Motion made by Selectman Slavin, seconded by Selectman Whiteside. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained. 400.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of February 18th and hold them.
Second.
Executive Committee.
Motion by Selectman Whiteside to approve and hold, seconded by Selectman Slavin. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? 301. Selectman Holmes abstaining. Okay. Next item, please.
Next up, we have the use of town roads by the Gleason YMCA for their annual 5K road race, 11th actually, May 17th, 2014, 7 a.m. to noon. How are you?
Good evening.
Good evening.
Why don't you give us the quick rundown on the road race?
It's being held Saturday, May 17th. This is the 12th year that we've held the event. It's a fundraiser for our scholarship fund. We have about 350 to 400 runners that come each year. Many of them have done the race in the past. Food is supplied by Dunkin' Donuts and Mark Anthony's. We have about 30 volunteers along the route. We do utilize the Wareham Police Department in certain areas. We have the EMTs. Volunteers take care of the registrations, the cleanup, and supervision of the event.
I have sign off by all the required departments.
Just looking at questions from the board.
Move to approve the use of town roads by the Gleason Family YMCA for their annual 5K road race on Saturday, May 17th, 2014, from 7 a.m. to noon.
Motion made by Selectman Whiteside, seconded by Selectman Holmes. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, 400. Thank
Great.
you, and
Thank
good
you
luck
very
with your
much.
event.
Thank you.
Next up is for Max Performance, 57 Prospect Ave, Norwood, for the use of Lopes Field, Hammond School, 10th Ave, Wareham Ave, Shell Point Lot, Town Pier, Onset Beach, Ban Shell, and the use of town roads for the 5th Annual Escape the Cape Triathlon, May 31st, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., rain date June 1st.
Good evening,
Good evening. Thank you for having me.
once again.
It's great to be here, a pleasure. Just wanted to highlight some things. We're here to talk about this year's race, of course, on May 31st. May looks like it's going to be a very athletic month down in Onset and Wareham with the road race as well. Last year's race was rather eventful, and we wanted to just publicly acknowledge and thank all of the town officials and department heads that really helped facilitate a race that might have otherwise not happened last year. Certain members of the board here today were on hand and helped out at the triathlon this last year. But we had some weather that came through and really changed the complexity of the entire day and of the entire course. And we had to we eventually did undergo a swim, but we had to shorten the bike course dramatically. So making those changes on race day and going to our logistical planning was a challenge, but again, we wanted to just thank everyone that helped us with that and making all the public announcements as well. So thank you. We anticipate again seeing 700 athletes this year with several hundred spectators as well. We're hoping for some better weather. The last 2 years we've been hit with some rain, and it kind of dampens the spirit a little bit, but everybody is just happy to have an event in that case. But again, we'll be setting up all day Friday, May 30th, down at the pier. We will be executing the event on Saturday morning. We'll have a swim, bike, run event for folks at home that haven't had a chance to visit it at all. It's really a fun time. It's a great day. We have some great music playing, good spirit by everyone. We'd also like to thank all the volunteers as well, and thank the Gleason Family YMCA, the Friends of the Wareham Bike Path Committee, and the other volunteers that came in, and just publicly too, we'd like to, we're always looking to work with other community groups, and we reciprocate back for your efforts on race day and leading up to the event. So please feel free to contact us. You can reach us at maxperformanceonline.com. That's where the event is up for registration. We've got a brand new bold and website there, which is displaying lots of pictures of the community. So I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Questions?
When do we get our fall date as well?
I know.
I've asked you that now 4 years in a row.
I know. One of the prospects that we're looking at adding for us is actually a kind of a 10K, 10-mile race, which is an interesting concept, but it appeals to a lot of different athletes. A little bit longer of an endurance race, and then that 10K is a 6.2-mile race. So we're exploring it, and Wareham could be a possibility, but that's something again that would happen in, say, like an October time of year. So
Absolutely,
yeah.
Perfect time of the year to
Yeah.
run in Onset. Wareham. It's absolutely perfect. That's all I had, Mr. Chairman. I just wanted to make sure I keep plugging him.
Thank you.
Second date every
We
year.
do. We keep it on the docket.
That's a great event.
Make a motion to authorize the use of town roads by Max Performance
Second.
and the use of Lopes Field, Hammond School, 10th Avenue and Wareham Avenue, Shell Point Lot, Town Pier, Onset Pier, Ban Shell, and the use of town roads for their 5th Annual Escape the Cape Triathlon on May 31st, 2014 from 9 to 1. Rain date June 1st.
No rain. No rain.
That's part of my motion.
No rain. No rain.
Motion made by Selectman Whiteside, seconded by Selectman Holmes. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, 400. Thank you once
Great.
again.
Thank
we
you
look
very
forward
much.
to seeing you down there.
Catch up soon, Tim.
I noticed that you haven't asked any of us to participate.
Actually, we have.
No, doing it.
He doesn't want to pay to put another ambulance on.
Yeah. We have a hearing.
We have a hearing that was scheduled for 7:15, but I noticed that everybody wasn't here yet, so I put it off a little bit. And the application is for Stashes on Beach, 182 Onset Ave, for a seasonal common vic wine and malt beverage license. You make a motion to open it.
Okay, we have a motion to open the public hearing.
So moved.
A second?
Second.
Motion to open the hearing by Selectman Whiteside, seconded by Selectman Slavin. All in favor? Aye. Opposed, abstained, 400. The hearing is now open. Good evening.
Good evening.
Okay, why don't you tell us who you are and what you're looking to do here?
I am, this is, first of all, Nicoletta Papantoniadis. Did I say that right?
Yes.
And,
evening.
and I am
How are
Attorney
you?
Jan Wolverton.
Good evening, Attorney Wolverton. So
Good evening.
tell us what you're looking to do down here, just briefly, and you can feel free to use this as a little bit of a pitch for your restaurant as well.
Well, this is an application for a seasonal beer and wine license. The restaurant opened last June, and without the benefit of a liquor license. I think that most people agree that they did a terrific job renovating the place. And the building itself, of course, is the former Kenny Saltwater Taffy. Has about 1,244 square feet, 4 exits and entrances. The hours of operation are 10 a.m. to 10 p.m., except for Saturday, which are 10 a.m. to 12 a.m. The beer and wine would be kept, according to my floor plan, in a locked walk-in cooler located in the rear of the building. And the indoor seating itself, again, according to my floor plan, accommodates about 24 persons, whereas there's a large outdoor deck with room for another 40, 46, I think. There's also a bench that encircles the perimeter of the railing, and that can accommodate another 20 persons outside in the summertime, obviously. So Nicoletta is the candidate or the proposed manager of the property. She has completed her tip certification requirements. She hasn't actually received the certificate yet. She expects it momentarily. Her daughter, Katerina, will be helping her on the premises, and Katerina is already tip certified. So we do have a certificate at the moment. Any questions I can answer?
Questions from the board? Selectman Slavin?
As you come in on the entrance side to the outside dining area, I know there's a gate there right now. We normally, what we've done over the last 3 years that I can remember, is anything that has access to the outside where people can walk by, we required something that goes up past, because normally where the gate is, it's about, I think, about that high, if I remember right. And we usually require something like a clear or some kind of fencing or something, not so much blocking the view, but blocking any way so anybody could pass a beer or wine through there. And we've also required having someone stationed where that gate is to make sure someone doesn't walk out as well.
So this would be the gate adjacent to the parking lot?
As you look at the front of the building, you have your patio off to the right, and then you have it drops down where the beach goes down the side there. You have the parking in front. The regular main entrance is to the left side of the original building. You've also got a swing gate where that patio is.
Right. Okay, Nicole, can you explain what,
It's, have you seen the patio at all?
It's been awfully cold when I've been down there.
It's a short little gate, but yes, we are gonna.
Just so you know, you have to speak very closely into these microphones so they won't pick up and go out over the broadcast.
Okay, so this is a requirement
Yes, we already
that
know
Selectman
that.
Slavin is
Yes. It-
articulating.
It basically was there when we had a previous license with Kenny's,
Uh-huh.
Yep.
but because of the way it was remodeled, it was changed a little bit, so I just want to make sure we understand
I
we're the
think
same.
they are
same
gonna
deal.
take care of that.
Okay. So basically, somebody is going to be posted at that entrance.
Yeah, and the requirements to have somebody there and also for the type of screening to present passing out of alcohol is something that the board has, is a condition that the board has imposed upon other recent applicants who've sought to serve alcohol outside, so this is consistent with that. It's only fair to them that we make everybody adhere to the same standards, and it's for your benefit as well. It cuts down on the possibility of liquor violation, so we don't try to be difficult, we do try to be practical. Any other questions from the board?
No, thank you.
Selectman Holmes, is there?
No, I think it's fine.
Move to close the hearing.
We already have the glass, so.
Yeah.
Motion to move, to close the hearing?
Second.
We have to ask if there's any other
Oh,
public
I'm sorry.
comment first. Is there anybody here from the public who wishes to speak to this application? Seeing none, take the motion now.
Motion to close the hearing.
Motion to close by Selectman Whiteside, seconded by Selectman Holmes. All in favor? Aye. Opposed, abstained, 400. The hearing is closed.
I'll make a motion to go ahead and approve the common vic wine and malt license to Papan,
Yeah,
yes, Pizza Inc., DBA Stashes, Onset Beach, 182 Onset Ave. There's about 7 different vowels in there. Manager Nicoletta, I'll bypass the last name so it won't sound bad.
Papantoniadis.
Papatoniadis.
There you
very
go.
good.
Sounds good. That's it.
Second.
Motion made by Selectman Slavin, seconded by Selectman Whiteside. Selectman Holmes?
Also, the hours are Sunday to Friday from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m.
And it's
Saturdays,
subject-
10 a.m. to 12 midnight.
Subject to the receipt of her tips.
Tips.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
Fair enough.
If the motion doesn't say it, then.
Sorry.
No, we've got the motion by Selectman Slavin, seconded by Selectman Whiteside. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, approved, subject to receipt of the tips agreement.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Thank
coming
you.
in, and
We'll bring that up as soon as we have it.
excellent. Thank you for your time tonight. Is there anything else while you've got the floor you'd like to say about your restaurant? There may be some people watching on TV, so view it as an opportunity for a quick 30-second commercial if you'd like.
I just hope, to bring a lot of. No, thank you very much. I just hope to please the town.
When are you opening again?
We're reopening on April 2nd. In the meantime, we're gonna add a few things to the menu and bring up a lot of new things. So I hope everybody's happy with that.
We are. We know you had a great first year. We look forward to you having an even better second year down
Everybody's been
there.
very, very nice, and a lot of supporters and people writing on the page that gets to my heart. Thank
Okay.
you.
Well, thank you. Good
Okay.
luck.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Very much.
Thank you very much.
Next item, please.
Item number 7, I believe you said we're dropping that. Hearing, Wareham Housing Authority.
Yeah, just with respect to the hearing we had regarding the Wareham Housing Authority, that is off. We received an email from the town clerk today informing us that she had received in an acceptable format the resignation of the member at issue. I'd like to thank that member for her lengthy service. I hope she recovers quickly from some of her recent health issues, and we look forward to her coming back to town as soon as she can and seeing her out and about. Next item, please.
Okay. Usually every month, town guidance to the town administrator for next year, for the current year. This is Whiteside.
I will reserve my comments until we go through the budget presentation that he will be making later.
Mr. Holmes.
You moved ahead. You moved ahead so quickly, Mr. Chairman. I see that my comments were either never forwarded or and were just ignored. There is no such agency called the new Wareham Housing Authority.
Well,
So
I
if
have,
the
I have no
board is
authority
gonna-
to
If the
quibble
board
with
is
what they
gonna
want to call
accept-
themselves,
If the
so.
board is going to accept and use documents, they should come from an appropriate authority, and this document is not. from
Well,
an
I think we all know who they
appropriate
are.
authority.
I'd suggest you take your
It's not an
views to the
appropriate
director
authority.
personally. It's his letterhead.
They don't
Uh,
exist.
Next item, please.
Any guidance, Steve?
For the town administrator.
Nothing for me today.
I'll give you a pass as well. You escape for another month. Next item, please.
We have the annual appointment of town council.
Yes. Last year, we went through an RFP process. This year, we don't need to do that again. It's not required by law. We have the authority under the general laws to simply make an appointment of council. In this instance, what we're looking to do here is a reappointment of council under the terms of the existing agreement. Same rate of pay. Is there anyone who has any questions about this?
No, I think I would make a comment, however, that while it seems that we spend a lot of money on town council on your retainer, I assure the public that you are saving us big bucks by preventative action as well as cooperative action with any litigation or possible litigation. So I appreciate the fact that we do have someone here who can give us guidance when we need it.
Thank you. Selectman Holmes?
I would ask the annual question, are there any committees, groups, CETA zoning, planning, that are still using outside counsel?
I'll pass that through to Mr. Sullivan.
The planning uses, will use Attorney John Whitten, however, that is through Attorney Bowen.
Right.
And the costs are part of that, that's.
No,
what
I
the-
understand that.
Uh,
Yeah,
the-
other than, of course, Attorney Bowen and Attorney Whitner together. Are there any boards outside of those? Are you using any attorneys outside of these two and his firm through this agreement?
Yeah, I don't believe so. The only other funding source I think would be CETA has money in their budget for legal. And I know that from the paperwork I'm getting and having Attorney Bowen review, that Attorney Bowen is performing work for them.
Under your agreement?
Yes, sir.
Reg? Okay.
The
I
other,
just want to make sure, because last year, and of course, we have a labor attorney.
Correct.
So we still do that. But last year, there were still several boards that were using other attorneys, and they were supposed to transition that by the end of this year, I believe, to town council. And the issues we had were with land mostly, because John was already doing that work, and then you brought him in last year, right? So that covers pretty much our land use and town issues.
one further point to what you're saying. I know under the general laws, community preservation is allowed to use independent counsel through their administrative allotment. To my knowledge, they have not done so at all this year. I believe everything that they have done has gone through Attorney Bowen, so that represents an additional cost savings, if you will.
Sure, because, the point is whether or not if they're spending resources outside of our agreement, whether they can or not by state law doesn't mean that we want them to. Because every dime they spend on that, they can't spend on benefits or goods for the town. So that was the whole point of expanding Rich's services, so we could get rid of a lot of that. And hey, every once in a while, something falls outside and he gets a couple extra bucks for working on it. That doesn't happen very often, though, does it?
Not yet.
No. He's had the same pair of shoes for 5 years. I mean, he's not
Show 'em your souls.
raking, and I'll say that, he's not raking the town over the coals, so I think he's doing a good job. One who's been sitting here for 4 years, I can't tell you the details, but I can tell you that he has saved this town a lot more than he makes. Is fair to say?
Yes.
Selectman
you.
Slavin?
We've had several policies that would have to do with council and other boards going outside. I believe 1102 is the last in the group, and it makes it very clear what the process is. I know the different committees I've been assigned to and some of the ones I haven't been to, we've made it very clear to each one of those committees which had issues in the past, they could not do it anymore. And I don't know of any instance at all in the past 12 months, really, that anything has come up at all.
Good.
The other piece really is that when you look at what we pay someone for a job, unfortunately, when it comes to council, there's a lot of things that just don't go to the public because of the legal nature where you can't disclose. I've basically, over the last 2 years, was kind of eye-opening, really, to see all the things that we have little issues with, where when town council is available doing the job that needs to be done, the town basically doesn't step on itself. It's really easy to become emotional when you do something. I had a little paper I used to keep around here saying, make decisions based on intellect, not on emotion. Unfortunately, a lot of times sitting up here, we'll get something going and someone will tweak someone's emotion rather than their thought process. And you'll say something which seems like innocuous, but at the end of the day, all of a sudden you're in a lawsuit. So I thank Mr. Bowen for keeping us on our feet.
Selectman Whiteside, did you have something to add? No. Well, can we get a motion, please?
Motion to reappoint Richard Bowen Esquire to a term of 1 year for town council for the town of Wareham.
Second.
Motion to reappoint by Selectman Whiteside, seconded by Selectman Slavin. All in favor? Aye. Opposed, abstained, 4-0-0. Thank you for your service. We appreciate it.
If I may just say a word or two, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
I want to thank the board very much for its vote of confidence. On behalf of John Whitten and myself, I can say truly that we really enjoy working for the town. There are lawyers referred to by many names, but the traditional phrase for a lawyer is attorney and counselor at law. And what John and I very much try to do is to act not just as your litigators or attorneys, but as counselors at law to try to rein things in. And it's been a privilege for both of us to have the opportunity to be able to sit and work with each one of you, with the town administrator. I said a year ago that if you want to be a team player, you have to be where the game is happening. I know John and I both have very much enjoyed going to town hall, office hours, coming to your meetings. And thank you very much for your vote.
No, it's our pleasure. And just to follow up on the, I'll throw my lawyer hat on here, just to follow up on the attorney and counselor at law bit. That's printed on our certificates of admission, that we are attorneys and counselors at law. And a lot of people in our profession, unfortunately, focus on the first part and ignore the second part. And speaking for myself, it's been a pleasure to work with somebody who agrees with me that the second part is every bit as important as the first. Thank you. Next item, please.
Next up is our senior work-off program. Mr. Sullivan, do you want to?
This is an annual vote that has to be taken to reauthorize, subject to budgeting.
I believe it involves the budgeting through the assessor's office, other things, so we need to know what we have available and what we can do.
We actually budget through the overlay because it's technically a reduction to our tax base.
Yep.
Last year, I believe we expended approximately $17,000 to $18,000, which was a third of what we had expended the year before. Some of the items that resulted in that was we started putting an income limit on it. We want to make sure that the senior work-off program helped those that needed it the most income-wise. Some of the other items that have happened is we with the parking kiosks, we no longer needed the person's collecting money and such on the piers. And one other item we changed was at the beaches, we removed the persons checking the stickers. It wasn't a safe environment. It was people just sitting in a chair out in the hot sun all day with no protection. And it ended up helping us increase our ticketing revenue because the scofflaws that were in there were actually ticketed. So that ended up helping. I would recommend, most likely, we would not go beyond 25,000 this year, because I wouldn't see anyone going back to the beaches in the capacity of checking stickers.
Selectman Whiteside?
That was just one of the questions I had for you, Mr. Sullivan, Derek. Because on your application form, page 5, it says, do you have any health issues that would prohibit you from working at the beaches? Would you put people back at the beaches?
No,
No.
I would not.
So should you strike that question
I
on
think
the
that one-
application?
That one could be removed.
Okay. And just for the record, you do a query on the individual,
Yes,
and you do have them sign a waiver.
correct.
Thank you.
Selectman Holmes?
Did you just say that you would not have people at the beaches?
We wouldn't have the sticker checkers at the beaches anymore. We did away with that last year.
Is it only because they were sitting in the sun?
It's
So
a-
if we had something that would block the sun and make it more secure, would you have people at the beaches?
No, that's not an item that's needed anymore. What we do is,
Not needed.
yes,
What does that mean?
it means we've gone to a different format. Instead of having people checking the stickers in the front, we have active ticketing, which brings revenue into the towns.
What does that mean, Derek?
It means that,
If I go to the beach and I don't have a sticker, the person in the chair told me to get a sticker. Now I
Right.
go to the beach.
you'll
Who's
have,
there?
you'll have signs up stating that this is a beach that needs stickers.
Right.
And if you continue to park, you will be ticketed.
I understand that, but what's the process of getting it to, how do you, what do you have, send the police to the beach?
We have, between the harbor master and the police, they patrol the parking lots.
It's the way that it was all this past summer,
Yeah.
Mr. Holmes.
Oh, I understand.
Okay.
But I'm saying you're throwing this out because it was a safety issue and a sun issue, but if we had something for them that was safe and not at the sun, we would still not require people to park there, to have a sticker on their car. And in the off chance that you don't get the harbor master to swing by or a policeman to swing by, you park for free.
I believe that
Yes,
We doubled our tickets last year, so.
understood. But what I'm just saying is, they park for free if the harbor master's not by there or the police. We're cutting back on our police force, right? We're gonna require more of those resources in other areas of town, not at the beach necessarily. The harbor master, well, we'll see what happens with that department, right? So the two people responsible for checking these stickers are really under the budget gun and won't be as readily available.
We're gonna have the
Maybe-
same number of summer seasonals for the police department. And the seasonals are the ones that usually go through the parking lots.
Well, we can just throw that in our parking meeting.
Throw that item in there? Okay.
Yeah, and the other comment I'd make about this, not that I have anything wrong with senior citizens, but, you know, this is a cash-paying program. I don't care how you look at it. The town expends so many dollars per hour for your participation. This is a job.
Correct.
And I don't want to work with Sally, I get the calls. I don't want to sit in this office, I want to sit in that office. I don't want to go over there, I want to go over there. I mean, that stuff, it's insane. It's a job. So either you come in and you sign up to, and somebody says, oh, we have somebody who needs to work at that table, that's you. And none of this hullabaloo over, I don't want to sit at that table. I want to sit over there where Mr. Titlebaum is. That's been going on it just needs to stop because it drives the volunteers crazy too that try to administer this under you, right? I know we've talked about this before, but it needs to be public that if you're going to sign up for this program, it is a job, right? And whatever they tell you you're going to do, you either do it or you go home and you pay your full bill, right?
And you need to have the skill sets to do the job.
Right, yeah. I've never seen a computer before, but I want to work with Matt up in IT. I understand. No, listen, I get the calls. I know, right? And they expect me to call you and say, hey, Mr. Sullivan, this is Selectman Holmes, let Mary work in the computer department. She doesn't know what a keyboard is, but let her work there because she likes Matt, right? No, it's got to, you have to, if you're going to expend that money, especially today where every dollar counts, you have to get a bang for that buck. You can't just have somebody coming in because, they're looking for a credit on their tax bill.
Yeah, I'm guessing
you know what I'm saying.
I'm guessing you got a lot of phone calls last year
I
from
did.
the changes.
And the year before.
I'm-
So I just think that we need to make that, because we don't have to do this. This isn't something that we even have to do
That's why we're voting.
as a town. We don't have to do it. So I would think that, if we do this again and you set the number and there's a lot of commotion over this, then you know what? Look at what'd you say you did, 60,000?
About 17. The years
17.
before, we'd been close, I think, to 56,000.
Right.
We used to do
Right.
50 plus.
Yeah,
Well, you had the parking lot, you had the
beaches.
substation there, what do you call that?
Yes.
The police substation, and all the beaches.
May I make,
So, and my argument is that, on the parking side, if they're unwilling to sit at the beach, then they're using them as part of our parking program for the summer is really not an option either, unless we had some protection from the sun, right? So that's really not, we can't use this,
Yeah,
most
first,
of this labor force here to tackle those issues.
first we thought we'd have some docents that would show people how to work the kiosks, and that turned out to not work so well.
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, okay, thanks.
may I make a motion that we approve for one more year the senior work-off program? And I appreciate the people who do take advantage of this. Many of the people who take advantage of it, it is the difference between being able to pay their heat bill and not. I think it's something that has proven to be very beneficial to the seniors of this town, and I am one.
Second for discussion.
Okay? What do you have to say on this one?
Just a quick point. The changeover happened last year, and there was some confusion, some uncomfortable people. They used to have this particular job and always had it. I believe you assigned Susan Green to the program last year. Right. It's taken probably 6 months, but it got working, and it started to work very smoothly, and I don't expect to have any of the issues that we had last year. Everything is straight up forward. It's a lottery system. It's as fair as can be. As the job's filled, then another job's available, and that's really what people take. And it does require some requirements, so I don't see any issue with it. The real issue is how much money we have available. Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, 400. It's continued for another year.
Next, any business not anticipated in 48 hours? Mrs. Whiteside?
No, thank you.
Mr. Holmes? I don't have anything.
Nothing.
Mr. Sullivan, your report?
Thank you. Last week, we met with our insurance company, Maya, to go over our workers' comp insurance. As you know, that's one of the insurances that goes up every year for probably all companies, but especially us. How they calculate the rates involve our salary, so the amount of salary we have, including frequency of events. So if somebody gets in the schools gets kicked or punched and goes to the makes a report, or if one of our employees, municipal maintenance, hurts themselves on duty. Those are all frequencies, and they should be reported. In fact, we are penalized if they're not reported. But also there's so that'd be the frequency, and then there's severity. Severity means the actual loss. It would be so the cost to the insurance company. Our severity is not what's really distressing. We do have a high frequency. A lot of it involves working with the special ed programs. There's with some of the children there, it's a tough environment. There's the teachers are sometimes kicked, punched, even bit. So one of the things that we're bringing Maya in to do is training for the people that will be in those environments to help save money through the frequencies. We're also continuing other education and credits for Maya. I believe over this year we've earned close to $20,000 in credits that you can apply directly against your costs. So these are some of the items we work on. In fact, I'm hoping that maybe we can arrange in the next month or so another open meeting law training if the town council, renewed town council will wish. So the next department head meeting we will also bring up. I literally have about 6 or 7 discs on my desk that I'm going to be providing some of the departments for them to review, go through, and sign up, and let Maya know that they've done that training for extra credits. So that's one of the main items. Last week I also attended Chapter 70 training. How we receive our state aid from for education is probably one of the most baffling formulas I've ever seen. This is the first phase of it, but it's amazing how many different elements go into it. So I was impressed, but I think some of the items in that are going to help us with really projecting our future budget. Although some of it is arbitrary, and it's what the governor decides to fund on certain levels, but we can certainly help trend out towards the future. We've received the parking kiosk bids. We will be awarding this week the bid, so I will let the board know before next meeting who's received the award. We're going through them right now. The second week in April, we are planning on having a open public all-day meeting regarding the parking program. Before that, I plan to come before this board with the help of the harbor master and present what some of the items are, so that the general public as well can see what our thoughts are before the forum, so they can actually have some input at that meeting. We dodged a bit of a bullet with the storm this Monday that did not occur. Just to let everybody know where we stand, we budgeted $192,000 for snow and ice removal. We have expended $466,000 at this point, so we're in deficit by $274,000 for the snow and ice budget. A large storm like was projected for Monday can cost well over $80,000 for just one storm for the plowing and snow removal. The next items I have were there was at the last meeting there were a few requests made for some information, and if I can go down the list, I believe I've hit most of them. The McKinney-Vento, which is the homeless student transportation. We are estimating receiving $100,000 in reimbursement from the state. Does that cover what we actually spend? And the answer is no. In FY13, we expended approximately $160,000. And what that means is if a family loses their home, and let's say they're from Springfield, and the only place to house them through the state is in Wareham, then Wareham has the duty to transport that child back to the Springfield schools that they attended if they wish to continue attending those. So you can see $160,000 is not a small amount of money. The next item is veterans benefits. The cost for veterans benefits are twofold. There's actually the benefits that our residents will receive that have earned them, approximately 300,000. Then there's also an assessment, which for FY15 is going to be $23,528 and change. The assessment is, we used to have a veterans benefits agent in town. However, we've regionalized. It's coming out of Hyannis now. We're in it with Barnstable, Sandwich, and a few other towns. So there's been some cost savings. Veterans benefits expenses are reimbursed. It's just for the 300,000 that would be reimbursed, but you receive 75%. So when you go to our cherry sheet aid, so in other words, that is the state aid, and you'll see a line for, I believe that it's simply listed as veterans benefits. That is actually 75% reimbursement for what we paid the previous year. There was a question about the town accountant's budget, that the salary line has increased. For FY15, we are projecting we would like to hire an assistant town accountant. For a $60 million budget, having one person as the town accountant and then a accounts payable clerk is just, it's been too little. What we've done in the past is we have hired consultants to come in. However, if you don't have the same consultant available year in, year out, there's a startup time, and it's hard to understand what that person was thinking when they placed when they used the chart of accounts. So it's in speaking with the DOR and our auditors as well. The best thing we can do is have an assistant town accountant that can also work on the books. The question was if we are, for FY15, if we will have a personnel director, which would also be a human resources administrator. And no, we have not budgeted for that position. The town planner, yes, in FY15, we have budgeted for a full-time town planner. We moved from the part-time position that we had before. It didn't seem to be working out for the town, but we are moving to a full-time town planner. We have not hired a town planner at this time. We have held off on that. In the FY15 budget, is there money to purchase some police cruisers? Yes, in the police budget, we have budgeted approximately 98,000, I believe, maybe a little over, closer to 99,000. What we would look to do is lease vehicles again to get the most money we can. The average life of those vehicles will probably be 3 to 4 years. So I would not recommend going beyond a 3-year lease for them. The harbor master's budget, when you go through it, you'll see an increase. But when you go up to the revenue side, you'll also see from the harbor service permits, $78,546. That's money that we pull out of the harbor service permits to help pay and offset the cost of the personnel in the harbor master's account. Municipal maintenance wages. Yes, we did for FY14 budget. We had removed one full-time employee, and when you're looking at the budget, it's looking at essentially level funded. I think it's a few thousand less. However, there are no additional employees. In fact, we would be losing one employee in that department. However, with the contractual obligations, there are increases to that budget. So when you level fund it, and with your contractual obligations, you still would not go down in this case because of what we have. So we are losing an employee there. Council on Aging, the question is, I guess the simple question people ask is, why are you picking on the seniors? And that's I would say, first, we're not picking on the seniors, but I can understand the emotion behind it. The Council on Aging is not legally mandated, and it's one of the, when we looked at the budget, one of the questions asked, is it legally mandated? The next question was, what sort of revenues does it bring in? And the third is, the service that we're offering, is it the best possible service? And the question is, the way we're funding it now, I still, even though it's having a council on aging, I don't think we're offering the best possible service. We do get some grants in for that. However, it is not making money, and it's not legally mandated. So when the choice is between some of the other departments, inspectional services legally mandated, some of the police, and items such as that, and just our financials of trying to work together, unfortunately, Council on Aging is one of the items that that we can lose and continue to operate. And if that's considered cold, it's the fact of how we have to make the decisions with the monies we have. Cherry sheet for the assessments. People are going to ask, why did they go up over $460,000? There were some minor changes, some increases, but the major is in the school choice sending tuition and the charter school sending tuition. So those are assessments that we are hit for students that would go to the charter schools or going outside of the school system. That increase was $396,342, or a 57% increase versus the previous years. So we lose money when children continue to go to other school systems. And even when they stay as residents, you receive some of the Chapter 70 aid, but then it was offset with these assessments. So I believe that is all the items on the list. If I missed one or two, I apologize. I can catch up to that later if there's any questions.
Thank you. Any questions?
No.
No. Sobering.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Next item, please.
Okay. Ms. Whiteside, any reports from any committees?
None that I can report, no.
Mr. Holmes?
You've collected quite a bit of information. I should have some kind of report back in probably 2 more weeks on the gas station. I have spoken with the chief, I've spoken with the maintenance director. I went out and took pictures of all the sites. I have all the pictures. Just waiting for a couple of numbers, and then I should be able to put together a report, and we can throw it back on the agenda and have a discussion one night. And maybe I would invite, Mr. Menard and the chief in, and then, it'd be up to Mr. Sullivan, but you all authorized me to go out and do that work, so that's
Yep.
But, I just think that it was eye-opening just going around to the different ventures, our maintenance area there off of that road. What is that?
Charge point.
Oh, it's an embarrassment. That whole area is full of junk, and we could probably correct the budget. Well, Larry, I don't think Larry watches these meetings anymore, but we could probably take all the junk out there, send it to Larry McDonald, to his metal company, right, and close the gap in the budget. So I think that as I was out doing this research here, I think that consolidation is not only just about gas pumps, but about all of that property that we own, whether it be buses or broken down boats. And it was really embarrassing to go out and see what we have accumulated and allowed to just put out in the woods. So it should be interesting, but I think that based on what I'm hearing, I think that we have an opportunity here to do something that it's going to save some money and consolidate services. So I'm looking forward to that.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'll try and make this quick. The Bike Path Committee, Serpent has just recently got a hold of the Wareham Bike Path Committee just to notify them. The town of Marion has finally settled their issue on County Road. Marion should have their bike path finished in 1 to 2 years now. So the emphasis now to the town of Wareham, since we have actually the largest length of the bike path that's been projected for Southeast Mass, we have the longest mileage part of it, is looking to go to basically to County Road and try and get that done. So they won't stop through Onset, but right now the emphasis is to move the other direction to hook up to Marion to make a longer length. We're probably going to have to go back, I believe, to town meeting and probably remove the article that we had funding the bike path back some years ago with the CPA funds and come back with a slightly different article because things have changed. Again, just a reminder, the planning board has three hearing articles for town meeting. It will be the 24th, not the 17th we originally planned. Again, it'll be the 24th of March. It will be over at, I think it's going to be most likely in this room here, if I remember right. They moved over. Board of Selectmen are going to have a hearing on the charter article budget on the budget submission date. That's the 25th. FinCom is currently working on a budget presentation for town meeting for both budgets. There'll be more information coming before then. At a meeting today on the canal celebration, I was informed by the Plymouth group, our America's hometown, which is Plymouth. Their birthday is coming up in 2020. It's 400 years. They're already starting to reach out to the local towns in the area to basically come help and get involved. They're planning an event, which kind of surprised me when they gave me the figure, which is $50 million, is what they expect this event to cost them. So this is going to be a very major event. So our event this year and the canal event is just going to be practice. So we'll see how good we all do this time. That's it.
It's not exactly a liaison report, but I just wanted everyone to know that we have noticed the sewer workshop from Saturday, March 15th at 10 o'clock. Had originally intended to do it in the cafeteria, but that's used by somebody else on Saturday morning, so it'll be up in the auditorium in Town Hall. So March 15th, 10 o'clock. This is, we will hear from our consultants, Professor Poop and others, regarding the different ways you can charge for sewer, and based upon the numbers that have been provided to them, what those impacts would be, what the numbers are, so on and so forth. So save the date for that one. Other than that, I have nothing else. Motion made by Selectman Slavin, seconded by Selectman Holmes. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstained? 400. Thank you all. Have a good night.